Oh, snap. Well, before I even get started on this guy, I wanted to tell you, I just wanted to thank all you guys for subscribing and watching my videos. I recently hit 50 subscribers. I know that isn't really much in the terms of YouTube, but it's halfway to 100, and I do want to keep this growing. I do want to keep the channel growing. So for me, that is showing growth in the best possible way, and I really do hope you guys are enjoying these that I'm making, even if it's just the slightest ones. But anywho, let's take it Voyager Blackout from the first movie. And of course, since he is a Voyager, he has an action feature. He actually has two action features. One is a flat out... Uh-oh. There we go. One is just a flat out... We saw this coming. Because it's a helicopter. And a lot of helicopters need to do this, especially when they're bigger. Not when they're deluxes, but when they're this size. And he does have a set of rolling wheels on his arms, which I previously recorded this and forgot about these. And he does actually have a flip down pair right there, and he rolls a little bit, but it's just enough to say, hey, he has landing gear. So let's go ahead and close that. Uh oh. I just made that completely lopsided. Well, that's one action feature. Well, let's look at the more interesting one, where he actually deploys Scorponok. So, actually pops him out, and Scorponok actually looks really, really good. Actually, hold on, I gotta change a bit of something. I'm tired of this camera. Constantly trying to readjust the brightness on my screen. Yeah, but he has all the molded detail there for this little guy, and especially all this paint washing. Pretty good. I thought that was a neat little add-on. They didn't really have to do it, but hey. And there's even a feature where you can actually take the deluxe Scorponok, attach it to the bottom, and whenever you spin the blades, you see that little thing move. And whenever you connect the Scorponok, that will actually activate a mechanism in the Scorponok, and it'll make his little stinger actually kind of poke around. So it's like, it's not an intrusive gimmick. Well, okay, he is part of intrusive gimmick, but he's not meant to transform either. But overall, okay, this one I do kind of have to show the details because, come on, focus. There we go. See, he has some paint wash on the wings, you would call them, but on the actual main part of the toy, like especially on the main fuselage, there is none. And you keep going down and down, and that's it. You don't see any more. It's just on the wings, so it looks very out of place. I mean, yeah, there's a tiny bit of it on the There's a tiny bit of it, like on the center, but it's not much. Anywho, well, let's get this guy transformed. And while we're transforming him, I do have to admit that I am a giant. Oh yeah, you have to find while you're spinning it, you can easily lose your place for the spot that's supposed to pinch. But this guy definitely has a soft spot for me. I think it's maybe because it is the first Transformer we see, technically, in the movie, and in the trailers, too. But at the exact same time, it's like, I don't know, it's also partly because of the size, because this is one of the biggest toys that we ever get of him, other than him, Grindor, and all the other uses of the mold. But yeah, I just have a giant weakness, not just for this figure, but for the character in general. Uh-oh. That's the automorph where if when you're pushing this up, this comes down at the exact same time, but it does need a little bit of help. And yeah, the age of my version is starting to show, where a lot of things are loose. And he's actually kind of quick. And Easy to transform. But anyway, I was actually one of the few people where when the rumors were going around that there might be a Blackout leader class, I was excited. To finally get this guy in the more accurate sculpt than what we got. Because you'll see that this guy is, for big as bulky as he is, his actual movie model is a lot thicker, a lot more bulkier. If you want me to compare him to like body builds, this guy is a little bit more a swimmer wearing football pads compared to the guy being an actual brute. Like, you can tell this guy has some strength behind him, even after he jettisoned Scorponok. Okay, where am I going? Okay, I'm going over here. And there he is. All in his robot mode. Not bad, but like I said, he is kind of flat. I don't know how to put it, but it's a love-hate thing, where I kind of love it for the silhouette, where you can see, where if you look at it on dead on, you can see the bulk, you can see the the motor for the blades, the shoulder pads and everything. It lines up to make it. Ooh, I'm not making the focus. It makes it look bulky, but the second you tilt him sideways, he's flat. He's basically, you flatten out one of those giant cardboard boxes, and he's flat, but he's wide. Flat, wide, 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 flat, flat. But well, let's look at his rotation. He does actually have some decent ones. Like, he can go back and forth. His shoulders can rotate out, kinda. I think it's just kind of tight because it's just how old mine is. And yeah, these are loose because of the age. The clips are worn off, so they don't lock in anymore. They do go that. They do have a rotation at the bicep, a 90 degree at the elbow, a slight wrist. Yeah, like the articulation on this guy is not bad. A slight head rotation, but it's hindered by the actual cockpit. And And what about the legs? Well, the legs can move out, forward, backward, and he has a slight ratchet, just very, very slight, and but it's better than the knee. I think that's because you barely use the knee in this guy, because he has the tri-toes. Man, I just wishing he was flat. I mean, Calista Flockhart had more bulk than this guy. No. He is Christina Flockhart in a football uniform. That's exactly what he is. I just... One minute. Oh, yeah. And one other thing you can do for him is that you can take his action gimmick, and it actually pops off. Redo the blades, and you actually tilt this down, and it actually becomes a shoulder-mounted cannon. Boop. And of course you can have him holding it, but it doesn't really work that well. Oh, where's that? Okay. Oh no. Okay. See, there we go. There we go. And of course, the whole gimmick still works. Now, if he actually did this in the movie to make a giant fan of almost like hurricane-like winds, that would have been flippin' cool. But of course, just to put it back. And now I have been playing Forge the Fight, the new Transformers fighting game, and wouldn't you know it, Grindor, his Revenge of the Fallen incarnation, was one of the first fighters I pulled. And yeah, I've been using him. He's a big bruiser. I like him. And like I said, I can't help but like the CGI design of this character. Oh, nope, that's why he's not standing. His toes are not down. But for a Voyager, he's actually pretty decently big. You got to remember that these Voyagers at one point were only $20. They were never 25. It wasn't until the multiple classes and the prices started going up that these classes finally hit $25. But what should I say about him? Well, I do have a weakness for well, not really the character, because he really did not have a character in the movie. But overall, I do have a weakness for him. So I'd say pick him up, or at least just pick up this mold. It is fun to tinker around with. It is meant to be a toy where, you know, you're meant to tinker around with a little bit. You know, find all these different kind of things you can do with it. Especially if you get this or Grindor and a Scorponok. Both Revenge of the Fallen and Movie 1 did have this mold and did have a Scorponok. Because remember, both of them did appear in both films. Let's see. Let's see. The movie figures can actually pull off some decent poses. There we go. That actually looks pretty cool until his jacket comes undone. Boom. Actually, let's take a closer look on the face. Yeah, it's kind of a mess. But anywho, what do I say about him? I say pick him up. Pick him up at least one Scorponok. It doesn't matter which version of the mold you get. Just at least get this guy in your collection at some point. And believe it or not, this version's kind of cheap. The last time I checked on eBay, he's like maybe $18-20. He kind of retained his value, which I thought was pretty cool. But anyway, guys, I know this one's kind of a bit shorter, especially for a bigger figure. But be sure to check out my other videos. Rare Reviews is coming back on Friday again. And you guys have a great night.